YouTube, what's going on, man? It's Father Dark, and today with this video, I'm going to be talking about something that has been recently announced by the Marvel Rival developers. They basically said that they were going to be bringing back the Season Zero Battle Pass, which I know there's a lot of people that missed out on that, and a lot of people they really wanted to get some of those skins from the original Battle Pass. So I noticed that on Twitter when I read this that there were a lot of people that were retweeting it, reposting it, and stuff, and some people were saying that they shouldn't do it, and a lot of people were saying that they should. Now, with this video, what I'm going to do is just to be honest with you, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. And for those of you who don't know, devil's advocate is just when a person expresses a contentious opinion in order to provoke debate or test strength of the opposing argument. And that's kind of what I want to do here. And to kind of preface before I really get into that, I just want to say that personally, I don't really care per se with this particular scenario. I don't really care one way or the other. It doesn't bother me. It's just simply that I saw that there were a lot of people arguing over it. And whenever I notice that there's something that becomes like a big debate in the community, I tend to want to talk about it and give my thoughts and opinions on it. But with this particular thing, I noticed that there were a lot of people that were, just really upset that there's other people that do feel like when skins are exclusive for a period of time, whether that be, particular skins that just come out and they're only out for a certain time, event skins, battle pass skins, whatever, people get really offended. Now, before we really get into it, let's talk about FOMO for a second. And for people that don't know what FOMO is, it just means the fear of missing out. And before we even get into that, I think that we should talk about where a lot of this started. So technically, the first battle pass that ever existed was from a game called Dota 2. Now, I never played Dota 2, but I am aware that that was one of the first games where they had a battle pass, simply because I've talked about battle passes before. And I originally thought that Fortnite was the first game to do that, simply because I didn't play Dota 2. So I wasn't aware that they did it. And upon looking it up, I saw that they did. Now, when they did it, this was, and I could be wrong, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think Dota 2 was a paid game. I don't know if it's free or not. I haven't ever played it. Not really my type of game. But regardless if it was free or not, they actually used some of the proceeds. I think it was like $2 per every $10 that people spent, or 14, however much it was at the time. They used some of that money to go as like seed money for a tournament or something like that. And like I said, you have to forgive me. You're more than welcome to expound on that in the comments if you played it, or you're around for that, or you just know the details of it. Simply because I don't know all the details. I just do know that that was one of the first games that did that. Now the thing is that, like I said, however many people that played Dota 2, they played it, but I do believe that Fortnite is what's kind of looked at as one of the first games where this really became a thing, and it became more of a mainstream thing. And I did notice that after Fortnite did it, pretty much every other game that I played started introducing free-to-play versions of themselves, kind of like Call of Duty was always a paid game, even when they had a battle royale back in, what was it, Black Ops 4, when we had Blackout. It was a paid game, and even Blackout was paid. But then after Fortnite's success, a lot of games started adopting this free-to-play business model. Not to say that they were the first ones, because I mean, you've had mobile games and free-to-play games for a long time, but people started realizing how much more successful those games were. And I have my reasons for believing why that might be, simply because personally, I think that that's because people will always give a game a chance when it's free, versus if they have to invest $60 or $70 into it to find out if it's good or not, and feel like they've wasted that money. And in the long run, people would much rather have a game that's free. You go into it and you enjoy it, and then you decide that you want to start putting money into it. I did the same thing with Marvel Rivals. I have never been a hero shooter kind of guy. I only gave it a chance because of the Marvel IP, and because I just wanted something that I could play with my actual friends. A lot of my real life friends and family members don't play Call of Duty. The only friends I have from Call of Duty were friends I made along the way. But with Marvel Rivals, I was like, hey, I'll give it a shot. I could be interested in this for a period of time. But when I first started playing it, I was not thinking that I was going to continue playing it for a long time, or play it any more than when I jumped on with friends and family members and stuff like that. It wasn't until towards the end of the season that I actually started to say, you know what, maybe I'll just get this battle pass, because in this game, it actually makes a lot more sense to me than other games, simply because you actually do play other characters. It's not like with another game where you might just say, hey, I can just get one skin and I can just wear this character all the time, kind of like Call of Duty or Fortnite. But with with Marvel Rivals, you actually are going to play different characters. If you're someone that flexes, if you're a person who only plays literally one character and that's the only character you play, and you have no, want or need to switch to another character, which that's a separate video. I'm going to actually talk about that probably in my next video in regards to why I think that swapping and understanding a bunch of different characters is important. I've covered it before, but I want to go a little bit more into detail about it. Nonetheless, though, you have games like Fortnite that kind of started this whole argument about skins being rare and stuff like that. And when I first started playing Fortnite, it was another game that I only gave a chance because some other people, at the time I was playing Destiny a lot. And a lot of the people that I was playing Destiny with, they were like, hey, you know what? I don't really feel like playing this anymore. It's not really anything that's keeping my interest like that. We've kind of done all the stuff there is to do in it. I want to jump over to Fortnite and play Fortnite. So I was like, hey, you know what? I don't know what this game is, but I'm going to give it a shot. And started playing it. And like I said, this was the first time that I saw a battle pass, and I thought it was a pretty good deal. It was like $10 or something like that. They said that you would actually get the money back from the battle pass, so you'd be able to get all of the next ones if you didn't use the currency that you get in there on anything else. You would be able to just keep continuously doing this, and you got numerous different skins. Now, at the time, I had no concept or foresight of how much I would appreciate getting it later. But the thing is that a lot of people will argue that, oh, well, why don't they just bring these things back? And me personally, like I said, using Fortnite as an example, one of the most sought after skins was the final skin that you got from that battle pass. It's like the Dark Knight or the Black Knight. I don't know exactly what the name of it is because I don't really care. But nonetheless, though, it's a knight looking skin, and he's all black, and people are so tilted that they didn't get this skin. Now, the thing is that when games come out and they first come out, I do think that it's important that there are some type of exclusives for the people that put the time and energy into that game to make it be a big game. Fortnite could have just as easily have been a game like Concord. You think about Concord for a second, and I know I bring up Concord a lot, and it's not to pick on Concord. I think it's very important to use it as a learning experience. There are millions upon millions of people that play Fortnite. It's one of the biggest games on the planet. It has consistently stayed in like the top 3 most downloaded games, pretty much on consoles. Steam is a little bit different, or PCs in general are a little bit different because PCs have so many different games that they can choose from. But pretty much anytime that I've ever checked over the years and referenced what are the top games, Fortnite has been in there. It's a game that I played back when my kids were too small to be able to even hold a controller. And now that they're getting to a point where they like to play games, they're able to play Fortnite. But the thing is, like I was saying, this skin is ridiculously sought after. Pretty much any skin from that battle pass, people just are like, oh my God, the Black Knight. I've seen it so many times where people have asked for them to bring this skin back. And they have brought back skins that were kind of like similar, like they had a female version of the same skin. They've had other skins that were really similar that they've released, recently and stuff. And I don't keep up with Fortnite as much anymore, but there are times when it comes across my feed and I do see this, and I see this debate coming up. And this was one of the things that people were referring to when I was reading all these comments last night on the Twitter post in regards to the Season 0 skins coming back. People kept saying, well, we're not going to make this another Fortnite thing. We don't want there to be exclusives. We want people to just be able to get whatever they want when they want it. Well, the thing about that is that life is filled with all types of things that are exclusives. Think about how many things exist where there's cars, where they only make so many cars. There's shoes, where they only make so many types of shoes. Then there's like these limited exclusives, but they're like more like annual exclusives of things. Think about McDonald's. They have the only things that I actually enjoy from there that is kind of like a limited thing. They have like how they normally have the apple pies. Well, toward Christmas they get these like holiday pies, and I think those are really good. I really enjoy them, but I understand they're holiday themed, so they're only around. Kind of the same thing with like anybody know the Little Debbie like Christmas tree cakes? I really enjoy those. I've been eating those since I was a kid. Every time that they bring them out, I buy a couple boxes of them. My kids love them. I love them. They're cool, but I understand that they're Christmas tree themed cakes. Why would they come out any other time? Even stuff like the McRib, or people love the whenever they do like the Monopoly game. And I'm sure there's lots of people that say, oh man, well I missed that, or I was busy, or I wasn't thinking about it, and I really wish I could just get it in like February or June or whatever. But you can't. That's life. And like I was saying earlier, I do think that it's good to have things that reward players for initially showing an interest. And I had brought up Concord, but the reason why I had brought up Concord was because you think about how the game came out and people weren't interested in it. They didn't play it. They weren't there for it. Now, we can't talk to every single person that didn't play Concord because that's like almost pretty much everybody. That's the reason they shut it down, was because people weren't playing it. And the game, they spent hundreds of millions of dollars on it, and they only gave it like what, like a week or like maybe 2 weeks at the most or something like that before they actually went ahead and just pulled the plug on it and shut it down completely. Now you think about if that was to happen with other games, and games that could be popular, but people just, maybe there's another game that came out around the same time and it gets overshadowed, or people are busy and they just have other stuff going on and they don't want to jump on that bandwagon initially. You do have a group of people that do come in there early on, and they do get these things they're rewarded for. And I think that it's kind of a slippery slope. Now, I will say that in all fairness, and once again, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I haven't been able to find anything specifically where they said that these skins were going to be exclusive. Now, in other games, they do say that once you get a battle pass, that these skins are not going to come back. That's something that they say. And the only time that I know of where that's been contradicted is in Call of Duty. Now, once again, could be wrong about this, but they have been talking about bringing back, like making like these bundles where you're going to be able to buy skins that were in previous battle passes. And once again, I think that that's a slippery slope, because what could potentially happen is that people may say, okay, well, I was going to get these battle passes, I was going to do these particular things, but it's going to come back at any point in time. So why would I invest any money in it or get it initially when I could just get it whenever? And then people stop caring about it, and maybe they don't because this new fancy thing comes out. And like I said, I think that's a slippery slope, simply because what if they start to kind of take the Concord mindset and they say, well, we keep releasing these battle passes, but nobody's really buying them because, and they may not think of it that it's the reason that maybe, we've released previous skins from battle passes and stuff like that. So maybe people are anticipating that in 4 or 5 months, we might do it again. The people who are funding these games and stuff like that, the CEOs, the corporations and stuff, they're looking to make money now. And when they don't see that they're making the kind of money that they feel like me and you, the person listening right now, we can buy a skin, but if, I don't know, 1,000 other people don't buy that skin and they don't make the money back that they want from it, they could start to be like, oh, well, this game is dying. People don't care anymore. Let's move on to the next big thing or whatever. And that could be the downfall for games. I think a lot of people start to forget that the reason why games like this exist, which there's a lot of people that feel like, oh, well, free-to-play games and battle passes are like ruining gaming, and FOMO is ruining gaming. In my opinion, it's not. You take something like Call of Duty, for example. Call of Duty used to release their games, and they still do this. They release an annual game, but now they have their free-to-play version, which is Warzone, which entails all the stuff that it has in the different game modes. But for the most part, they would release a game every single year, and when you paid for this game, you paid $60 or $70 for it, depending on which version you got, and what you got was pretty much what you got. Now, would they release like some DLCs and stuff later? Yeah, whatever, but pretty much whatever you got was what you got, and once you got done with it and you were burnt out on it, you waited till the next one came out, et cetera, et cetera. So you're rebuying this game every year. Whereas now, there are people that are able to experience a game and never have to spend a dime on it. There's a lot of people who are free-to-play players, and when I say that, I just mean people that do not spend any money on cosmetics. They don't buy anything. They just load into the game, they deal with whatever the basic skins are, and they still get all the benefits, because a lot of us do like to buy cosmetics and stuff in video games. Whether people feel like that's a valuable purchase or not, that's just what we do. And people, like I said, they can sit back and enjoy getting free updates. They can enjoy being able to get all the new maps and all of this stuff. And the games are constantly being updated. We expect that they're going to be updated at the most, every 2 to 3 months or something, or I say like at the most 3 months is kind of like the longest period of time that a free-to-play game should be taking to get new content in. Because you know what happens when they don't do that? People now move on to the next thing, because we have so many games that are constantly updating. And even when we get the season, that's not it. We're not only just getting the season, we're getting lots of free events and stuff within that season. Every couple of weeks, there should be a new event. At one point, now Black Ops has been terrible in regards to events and stuff, but last year with like Modern Warfare 3, we were getting like a new event every single week, new camos and stuff. We were getting new skins for free. And that's the thing too, is that you're getting a lot of free stuff now because so many people are investing into the game, which gives them more incentive, the developers, to and the corporate people to want to say, hey, you know what, we're going to have a free skin. Same thing with Marvel Rivals. They do the same thing. We just had the Mantis skin, and now we have the Wolverine skin. And I know there's been other skins, but I can't remember off the top of my head where we've gotten for free. There's skins in the game that you can get from just playing, like the Ivory skin for Storm, and the whatever the red skin is for Star-Lord that you get from like the heroic journey or whichever set of challenges that is. And over time they introduce more and more. And that's a good thing, but another thing I want to talk about too is why you shouldn't really care, to be honest, in regards to thinking like, oh, I really want this thing because it's rare and I didn't get it earlier on, like kind of like the Season 0 Battle Pass. And I'll just be honest with you. When I got the Battle Pass initially, I just kind of got it because they're extremely cheap. It's not, I spend more getting a couple of Red Bulls every day from the gas station. So it's not, to me, it doesn't really, it's not really whatever. But the first Battle Pass that we had, the Season 0 one, I believe it was only like $5 or something like that. Maybe it was 10 for like the deluxe version. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. I just remember it was very inexpensive. And one of the big reasons I was on the fence about it was because there was only like one or two skins in there I cared about. The Hela skin. Now, the thing is that I know there's free skins in the Battle Passes, but I always buy the Battle Pass. So I don't know. I can't see which ones are free. It just shows me like how it would normally do it. So I don't know which ones are free, but I do know people have said that some of them were free at the time. And the only two skins that I cared about were the Mantis skin and the Hela skin. The rest of them, I didn't really care about. The Punisher skin, I feel like his regular in-game skin looks better. The Black Panther skin, it's cool and everything, but I just, I don't know, I just don't really care for it. And like I said, just because you miss out on something, it doesn't always mean that it's like the best thing or something or whatever, or anyone's going to care once you get it or anything like that. And you may particularly like it, but in my opinion, for most of the people that were in that Battle Pass, we've gotten better skins for them since then. So the majority of time that like I said too, that I get skins in a Battle Pass, I usually end up like a month later, there's something better that comes out in the store that I just end up getting if that's actually a character I use. Now, if it's a character I don't really use, I don't really care about it. When the game first came out, I saw the Hawkeye skin. I forget what it's called, but it's like the Galactic Hawkeye skin or whichever one it is. The one that hasn't been released since it came out. There's a few skins that have been like that weren't necessarily like exclusives. They just haven't come back to the store since then or whatever. And people kind of consider them exclusives because of that reason. And, I just, I don't feel like that it always really matters. Like, for example, like I was saying with the Hawkeye skin, I got that skin initially because I thought, well, if I ever do play Hawkeye, this is just a cool skin and it wasn't really expensive at the time. And I think I actually used some of the coins that I'd gotten from the Battle Pass. Nonetheless, the point I'm making is that a lot of times you get these skins and you don't even end up really using them, or maybe another character becomes really good for a while and you go into that character. Now you're, there's like 38 characters in the game or something at this point. So in my opinion, getting a Battle Pass a lot of times just kind of saves you from having to worry about getting skins for individual characters because you already kind of have them there, and plus with the skins that you get from the event. But that's just kind of like my personal like kind of take on it and kind of like final thoughts on it. Personally, like I said, I do think that like certain skins should stay rare. And the thing is that when I miss out on something, I don't really care. Like I'm not, for example, I didn't play the alpha or the beta and I didn't get the original skins because technically now those are like with this Battle Pass coming back out, those are like the rare skins in the game, or the, what is it? The blue Venom skin and the red and white Scarlet Witch skin. There we go. Sorry, it took me a moment. I had a brain fart there. But those are now becoming the rare skins in the game. And as soon as I started scrolling far enough down the comments, you start to see the argument go from, well, there should be no problem that they're releasing those skins. And now people are saying, okay, well, while you're doing that, just go ahead and release the beta and the alpha skins. Now, once again, could be wrong, but I do think that they said, from just reading what a lot of other people said, I do believe that they said that those skins weren't going to come back out. Those were just exclusives and they will never come back out in any shape or form. But who's to say that greed won't take over and they won't release these skins again? And then maybe you start to deter some of the people that are actually hardcore fans of this game that aren't casual people. And then we already kind of know what happens when you start to do stuff like that. Trust me, you want there to be hardcore fans of a game because those are the people that are going to keep the game around. A lot of people, they're just casual gamers, and there's nothing wrong with being a casual gamer. But when I say a casual gamer, I just mean you're the kind of person who plays lots of different games. And if you don't put attention into games like this, the game will go away. Just like with Concord. If you don't people didn't give it the time or energy. Who's to say that Concord just didn't have time to find its audience? It's kind of like making a video on YouTube. There was times that I made videos early on in this channel, and the video might have initially only gotten 200 or 300 views. Then it'd sit there for about 2 or 3 months, and it would all of a sudden find an audience. It was like YouTube just magically figures out, oh, these are actually the people that are interested in this. Boom. and video would take off and get thousands and thousands of views. So who's to say that the game could have been any different? Maybe initially people didn't play it because the people that maybe it was being marketed to or whatever weren't interested, but then maybe it could have found its own community and really taken off. And then a lot of people, I hate to say it, unfortunately, are followers. So once they see a lot of other people doing something, then they want to jump in and they want to do it. And personally, I also feel like that's kind of the reason why people care about these skins. I know there's a lot of people that say, oh, well, I really like it, or I missed out on it and I wish I could have got it. But in all honesty, do you really like the skins, or do you just not like the fact that you don't have access to them and other people do? And, it's strange because they said that initially, so not they said initially, but initially the battle pass was, like I said before, you had certain parts of it that were free. Now, I don't know which skins in the battle pass were free because, like I said, when you buy it, it doesn't tell you which ones are free. You just kind of you just unlock them normally like you would. But if you don't pay for the battle pass, then you would be able to see that there's certain ones that you can unlock and get them for free. But they said this time around, whatever skins that they put out, which will be whatever was in the Season 0 battle pass, you're gonna have to pay for all of those. Now, I don't know if they meant you're gonna have to pay for them individually, like the same way you would buy individual skins in bundles and stuff, or if they just mean that you would have to buy the whole entire battle pass and maybe it'll cost more, or I don't understand what they meant by that exactly. They kind of were general with the wording there. But nonetheless, though, you're actually going to end up paying more than you would have originally, which, I mean, you would have been paying nothing for the free skins. And I feel like the skins people honestly are talking about the most might have been the free skins. I don't know. Maybe the Mantis one was free. I don't know. I think maybe only the Hella one was free, if I'm not mistaken. But once again, these are things that you can let me know in the comments. Like I said, I'm not sitting here doing like 2 hours worth of research to figure out what was free, what wasn't, all this different stuff. I much more enjoy when you all tell me. So, because then we get to talk and communicate. So there's that. But, I will say this too as one of the final closing things. I'm not going to lie to you. While I don't particularly care about this, I do think that it is nice in certain games when you do have these things that are exclusive that let people know, oh, this person was around for the very beginning and actually took the time and energy to grind this thing out before it became really popular. When Fortnite first released in its first season, it wasn't quite yet as popular as it grew to be a few months later when everybody jumped on the bandwagon. And it is nice to kind of have something to say like, yeah, I was there in the beginning. I did this before all of you actually jumped on, and I'm one of the OGs. And I know a lot of people, they don't like that. They're like, oh, gee, what does that mean? It means exactly what it means. It means that you did something before a lot of other people did it. It's just as simple as that. And it's just a little small token of something, just a skin in a game that lets people know. My son, last year, he wanted me to get on. It may have been last year or the year before. I can't remember. They had like a Transformers event or something, and he had wanted a skin in the game. And I jumped on, and when I got on the skin, he was like, hey, will you play with me? I really want to show you how good I've got. And I said, okay, you know what? I'll go back and play with my son. I have no problem gaming with the kiddos. So I jump into the game, and the last skin that was equipped was the Black Knight skin from the last time I had played. And while we're in the starting lobby, all these people in the lobby just are coming up to me. They're doing emotes and all crowding around me like, it was the second coming or something. They have these things now called crowns, and I don't exactly understand what the purpose of the crowns do, or maybe it's just a sign of respect or whatever. I don't know. You have to let me know in the comments what crowns mean in Fortnite. Nonetheless, people were dropping crowns left and right. Just, oh, wow, the Dark Knight skin or the Black Knight skin, whatever it's called. And that is nice sometimes. And the thing is that I don't play the game anymore. So now that my son is really into it, he pretty much only plays that in Roblox, my youngest son. I'll give him the account. And the account, it has a value because there are people that are willing to pay for an account that has all of the original skins. Because pretty much every season that came out, I got all of the skins, all of the in-between little skins. And I do think that there's ways to re-release skins without kind of like where you can make both parties happy. For example, Fortnite is a really good example. They did re-release a lot of skins. There was this one skin that people really liked. It was this like Halloween skin. I forget exactly what it was called, but it's basically like you look like a skeleton pretty much. And the original one was white, and obviously the skeleton part, I'm sorry, the overall skin was black, but the skeleton part was white. And if I'm not mistaken, when they re-released it, they basically made the skin look the same, but it like either the original skin got the ability to change to like purple in regards to the skeleton, or the updated version was purple. But there was just something that they did to where you basically knew that there was a difference between the people that originally had the skin and the people that were just getting it. And to me, that makes both parties happy, because the people that are complaining saying, oh, well, I didn't get to get this, it wasn't around, but I really like it and I really want it, they get to get it, but they get a slight variation. And I saw someone in the comments on Twitter who had said, like, you should give the people that had the skins originally some type of, I don't know, like light glow or aura or something. But that's just one idea of many of things that you could do to kind of say, okay, here's appreciation to the people that were here originally that made this game popular and made it what it is today, because it is the people at the end of the day. You can have the best game on the planet. If no one plays it, though, you now become Concord. And I know a lot of people like to sit back and say, well, Concord was Concord, and people didn't play it because it was trash or because of the character designs or whatever the reasoning is. It doesn't matter. No one knows anything now because it's gone. What are you going to do? So, but those are just my personal opinions on it. And there's a lot of different things that I could talk about and cover in regards to FOMO and how it's affecting gaming and stuff. And like I said, this was just simply me playing devil's advocate and, giving you different reasons why that may not necessarily be the best thing. But I already know there's going to be a lot of people that are like, you're trying to gatekeep skins. Why are you doing that? What? The game's only been out for 5 months. Why are you trying to say there's OGs? Nobody's an OG. Brother, at the end of the day, I literally could not care less. Okay. I just know that a lot of you do. And that's, as a content creator, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about things that I know you all talk about and that you feel passionately about, because if you didn't, you all wouldn't be on Twitter right now arguing about it. So I already know that. And if you sit here and leave rage comments over the fact that I don't necessarily agree with them bringing skins back, or I just said that just because, like, once again, playing devil's advocate, then what does that do for me? It benefits me. It's just engagement. So either way, it doesn't hurt my feelings or affect me in the slightest bit. But I do think that it's healthy sometimes to take something that, just because a lot of people like to sit around and live in echo chambers and just repeat what everyone else says. And of course, people that didn't get the skins originally, of course they're gonna be like, oh, well, you're gatekeeping. Oh, we shouldn't have FOMO. Oh, why are there exclusives in games? Of course you are, because things benefit you. And when things benefit us, we're gonna skew it in our head to where it's an issue if it doesn't. I know there's lots of people out there that think we should just give away free money to everybody. You know why money is relevant, why it has any value? Because there's only a certain amount of it. If we just started endlessly printing it, all of a sudden the value would go down, and all that money you just got would be the same as having a handful of pennies. It would be pointless. And I feel like the same thing applies. There should be economies in things. Think about some of the most successful games, like what is it? GSGO or whatever it's called, Counter-Strike. I've never played Counter-Strike, not really my thing. If I'm going to play something like that, I'd rather play something more, fast-paced, all that kind of stuff, Call of Duty style. But I do understand that it is a game that is actually grown over time, and that it is consistently like at #1 on the Steam charts. And you can't say anywhere else because I don't think you can play it on anything else. But the point is that there's an economy in that game. People make these cosmetics, and these cosmetics sell for a ridiculous amount of money. Now that I don't understand. I don't never understand paying more. I can understand spending, like I said, the equivalent of what I spend grabbing a couple Red Bulls from the gas station on a cosmetic in a game that I'm actually going to play for a period of time, like Rivals. I can justify that in my head because I actually get enjoyment out of it regularly. So that's one thing. But you sit here and say like, yo, I bought this camo and I spent like 50 grand on it, brother. I mean, that's your money. You do what you want with it. But I don't understand that. But to each his own. And that's the thing, is like, that doesn't bother me. It may kind of boggle my brain a little bit as to the rationale behind it. But that could be the same thing with why some people spend $1,200 on a pair of Yeezys or whatever, people are out here spending their money on, that I don't necessarily agree with. And you might think it's weird that I want to spend $600 on a new monitor. I don't really care. I need a new monitor. They got some really cool ones out. It is what it is. We all have things that we're into, that we're interested in, that we like. And like I said, exclusives aren't going anywhere. They're going to exist forever. Businesses have been doing that since as long as I could remember, and then way further back beyond that. You have sales that only last a little bit of time. You have things that get released where there's only ever so many of them, whatever. So, complaining about it to me or Twitter is only going to do so much. If companies want to re-release stuff, if they want to do exclusives, whatever, that's what they're going to do. It's not like us debating about it is going to change anything, but I do think that it's healthy sometimes to talk about things that, people feel passionately about like this. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up because I just realized we're coming up on 30 minutes. It's kind of crazy. I feel like I really didn't talk for that long, and I really feel like there's a lot more that I could go into, but I'm going to leave that for you guys in the comments because that's usually what you do. You bring up a lot of really valid points about a lot of things. And like I said, I don't really agree with it one way or the other. I just kind of wanted to present a different kind of mindset toward it and a way of thinking about it. But I already know that anybody that feels this passionately about it is probably because you missed out on it the first time, and our brains are just kind of hardwired to want things that we feel like we can't have, only to get them and go, I don't really care about this. So I'll kind of let you guys figure that out. And I know you'll think back to this moment and go, I'm not going to go to his comment section and tell him that he's right, but I know he's secretly kind of right. I did all this work to get this mantis skin and just paid all this money and stuff, and then they just released a way better mantis skin that I ended up getting, and I don't even wear that other skin anymore. So, like I said, but to each his own, though. Everybody has to learn stuff on their own time and in their own accord. But like I said, coming up on 30 minutes, or we are at 30 minutes now. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up, though. But let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think they should bring the skins back? Do you think if they bring these skins back, that they should bring back all the skins, like the alpha and the beta skins? Do you disagree with this? Has it turned you off? Whatever it is that you think. I love hearing from you guys. I love all the different perspectives. Try to keep it respectful. If not, you get hit with the mute button and you will be arguing with yourself into the void. But nonetheless, though, like I said, I appreciate you guys for listening. This is Father Dark, and I'm out. I'll catch you on the next one.